I think when it comes to psychological safety as a foundation for lean and continuous improvement, I think people will walk away with some terminology. I think having standard work, if you will, in the way we talk about people's feeling of safety to speak up in different ways, as I mentioned earlier, all the different ways people want or need to speak up in the context of a workplace and lean management. People will walk away with some very specific actions they can take as leaders to help boost the feeling of psychological safety. We can talk about different ways you can survey to get a measurable sense of it, the way KaiNexus did, or even looking at metrics like how many employee ideas are being submitted. How many times are people activating the andon system? How many times, this is a time of year where people might be going through their cycles of Hosh and Conry, and if you have this so-called catch ball, how often is somebody pushing back? How often is the ball actually being tossed back and forth? And how often is it just a top-down deployment? Because someone might not agree with the priorities or the goals, and if they censor themselves instead of speaking up, that's not helpful. So I think those are some of the key takeaways from the morning. And again, this might sound like just a bunch of fluffy talk, but I think it's very practical, very actionable. It's critically important. And then in the afternoon, I think some of the key takeaways are, kind of a list of things to maybe stop doing, like reacting to every up and down, distinguishing the difference between like red and green data points. Sometimes shifting from red to green doesn't mean it's really meaningfully better. It could be a metric could be fluctuating from red to green very often, and that's just noise in the system. So we can learn some of the things to not do. So the subtitle of the book starts with, react less. And then the things to do is, this process behavior chart methodology, how to create them. People will be invited to bring their own data. I can give some coaching and we can review with each other and see what we learn from looking at our data in a different way. So those are things I hope people would take back to their organization and start putting into place right away, or trying to educate others about the possibility of using process behavior charts to manage differently, to lead differently, and to I think strengthen our lean and continuous improvement approaches.
There's a lot in that. It's exciting to